So, there's something that happened. I didn't even do it. Now I'm being excluded from my uncle's funeral, and he's the one person that's been there for me my entire life. I can't let this happen. I am going to be there. When I found out my uncle passed away, I was so shocked even though we've been prepared. We knew he did not have long left, and he did get his affairs in order. But I still felt that it could not be. I had just spoken to him the previous day, promising that I would take some time off work to visit him. But that day never came. And I just felt instant regret. Now, I was going to take the time off work, but it's to say goodbye to him. But even that was nearly taken away from me because of Julie, my cousin. All because of a pair of earrings. Of course, when I heard that he passed away, I called my cousin so that I could console her. We'd been close for many years, but these days life was just getting in the way of our relationship. She was sad, as was I, and also angry that nothing could be done about her father's condition. Her family did pay for specialists and the best doctors, but her dad could not recover from his chronic heart condition. There was one thing that his death did, and it was to bring the family together. Everyone was too busy to even show up for things like weddings or Thanksgiving together in one place over the years. Very few people in the family talked, as many of them had irreconcilable differences. Little did I know that on the day it would be the day I cut all ties with my cousin. It was also a day that I would come to regret this day, because of the way I acted. Like I was not myself, I guess. I arrived at Julie's childhood home 2 days before the funeral. My siblings and parents were already arriving the next day, and a couple of our family members were also already in town. We spent some time talking about the past and sharing stories about him. He truly was a man larger than life, who had treated me like his own child in the summers I spent without fail at their house. Julie and I talked about all the mischief we got up to at that house, and how instead of reprimanding us, he would be calm and say things like kids will be kids. But her mother, well, was never that forgiving. It was as if we were talking that I brought up something which I was not sure how to approach Jolie and her mom. I was not sure if my uncle had a will or not. But he did promise me a family heirloom before he passed away. He said that I reminded him so much of his mother, which would be my grandmother. Even though the family heirlooms went to the oldest son in his family, that was one that he kept for me. He wanted to give it to me when I got married. Unfortunately, he never lived to see the day. He said that he did not push them in the will, but he told his wife to set them aside for me. It was a pair of ruby earrings that I often saw in my grandmother's old photos. A very beautiful pair. I dreamed that one day I would get to wear them at my wedding as part of remembering him and my grandmother. I told my aunt about it, but I did not know that Julie was eavesdropping and that she wanted them for herself. Her selfish tendencies from when she was a child showed up again, when she told her mom that the earrings were on her side of the family, thus her birthright. She wanted them to wear so that she could remember her father. Her mother tried to tell her to behave as she was making a mountain out of a molehill, and she already had so much money that her father left her. I just refused to give up on them. She did not understand what they meant to me. That was the last thing he wanted me to have. I did not want anything else but those dang earrings, but she was selfish and wanted them for herself. Something about her is that she shows tantrums over stuff that she does not want just so she can take it away from someone else. We are the same age, 23, but it's like she's the younger one. Her mom tried to talk me out of it and offered me cash instead, but I was angry. My uncle was gone and not coming back, so why could they not honor his wishes? I wish that he just put it in his will, but I guess he had a lot on his mind. In his final days, Julie and I both got angry with each other, and soon everyone was in the bedroom trying to find out why we were screaming so much. Julie said that I did not deserve those earrings because I did not even have any ounce of honesty in my blood. She said that she was tired of keeping this secret from me, but since I was forcing her, she had to tell the truth. I wondered what she could have have on me that would be so damning? I guess it had to be nothing. She could not talk about that because that was her secret that I was keeping. It would get her in so much trouble because of how bad and even cold-blooded her actions were, but I was wrong. The girl stood there and said that I killed Flurry 5 years ago and that I covered it up and threatened her with violence if she ever told anyone. She said she was so scared of me since I was capable of hurting innocent Flurry, who did nothing to me. She had the nerve. She was the one who killed Flurry by accident and made me help her bury his little body in the garden. The poor cat drowned because of her stupidity, and I helped her cover it up, because I knew Dad would be very hurt if he found out what happened to Flurry. 5 years ago, her parents went for a weekend away for a business and left us in charge of the home. We were 2 teenage girls left alone in the house for the first time ever, so of course we took advantage of the situation and hosted a party. We were both trying to impress our peers because we thought that was the most important thing in life back then. We had a pretty good party. Then everyone left. I wanted to go to sleep, but Julie was drinking still, and she would not stop. She also appeared to be high, but no one brought something to smoke at the party. I had to spend a long time fighting with her to go to bed, because we had to clean up the house tomorrow. I gave up in the end and headed for bed, but I had not even climbed the stairs when I heard her scream. I rushed outside to the pool to see her standing at the edge of the diving board with a look of horror on her face. That was when I saw it. Fury, creature in the water, trying to swim up. It sank and I tried to dive back in, but I could not see anything and I was so dizzy. She was crying nonstop, saying that she just wanted to bathe the cat because he was stinking. I was so mad at her, but also scared about what her parents were going to say about this. Seeing that I could not find the cat, I ran to the house phone to try and call 911. But she stopped me and asked if I was crazy. She said that we're 2 minors under the influence with a drowned cat. They would take us away and her parents would be so mad at us. Well, I didn't want to get in trouble. I could just imagine how my mom and dad were going to react. My mom was never going to let me sleep over again if this happened. She was so overprotective of me and did not want me hanging around bad influences. Julie managed to convince me not to call for help after reminding me how much trouble we'd get in, and I felt really bad. Not wanting my parents to find out what we had been up to, so I dropped the call. We managed to get Flurry out of the water, but it was too late for him. She was crying and a lot, and saying that she regretted it and was just trying to play with Flurry, but I was upset. I asked her what we were supposed to do now, and he's not survived this. She asked me to keep the secret with her for the rest of her life, because if anyone found out, we would be in big trouble. Now that I'm older, I see that there were so many other ways this could have gone about, but we were just so scared. Yes, we would have gotten in trouble, but we would not have been weighed down by the secret. We got rid of Flurry's body and swore a vow of secrecy never to speak upon this again. When her parents came home 2 days later, we said we have not seen Flurry the whole day and we all started looking for him. I was scared, feeling like I was going to confess any time, but she reminded me that I would have more to lose as my parents were the stricter ones. I agreed with her. I wanted to avoid trouble as much as possible. Her dad was very upset over the loss of his favorite cat, and I felt bad. It brought me no joy when we had to put up posters around town asking for help looking for Flurry, who was so near. I know it was wrong. The covering up, yeah, it was wrong. I'm probably just as guilty as Julie is, but that did not give her the right to pin it all on me. She used the secret to make it out like I did not care about her family and did not deserve those earrings. Already emotions were running high because of my uncle's death. My aunt lost it and started calling me names and saying that I was an ungrateful brat. She said the cat meant a lot to the family, yet I watched them suffer through the pain of never knowing where he was. I was shocked, could not speak for myself except try to deny what was happening. It got worse when the other family members chimed in and said that I was a bad person for making my cousin swear to never say this to anyone, and having the nerve to come to the funeral. My aunt told me to stay away from the funeral tomorrow. She did not believe her husband would rest in peace with my bad energy there. That was a bit too much. How could they expect me not to want to say goodbye to someone so important to me over something that I was not even responsible for? They just weren't being fair, and they knew it. Not only that, but now I had no chance of getting that pair of earrings that I deserved. I felt cheated because Julie played the dirty secret just to get what she wanted once again. And to think I dealt with the heavy burden of her secret for years, and this was how she chose to repay me. I decided to leave because it was feeling super claustrophobic with everyone just waiting to get a piece of me. I accepted that maybe I would never get to see him off, but I could visit him later on when everyone left. I was equally angry and sad that they could turn on me so easily. My family was notified soon enough, but they were not that harsh on me. I told them the truth about what really happened, and they supported me. They wanted to not attend the funeral to support me, but I told them to go. I would not take that away from them because of Julie's lies. My mom reminded me how important it was to be honest, and gave me a mini lecture, but she was not too harsh on me, because she could see how I was hurting. The day of the funeral came, and I told myself that I simply could not think about it. I could not think of my uncle at all that day. I tried to watch a movie and read a book, but the next thing I knew, I was putting on my funeral clothing. I needed to say goodbye to him, and even though he could not hear me, I wanted to tell him that I did not kill his beloved Flurry. So, I gate crashed the funeral and stayed in the back where no one could see me. I planned to stay there for the rest of the service because I did not want to cause any unnecessary drama. But somehow, some way, Julie saw me and came over to me in the middle of someone talking about her dad. She asked what I was doing there since they've banned me from coming. I stood my ground and said that I had every right to be there. If there was someone who was supposed to be excluded, then it was her for her nasty lies. She was a dishonest person and did not deserve those earrings. I did. Things got really bad really fast, and before I knew it, we were having a physical fight. People were trying to keep us apart. I was swinging left-right McGregor uppercut. Her mom simply could not stop crying, telling us to stop because we were ruining her husband's funeral. But all that pent-up anger that I've been feeling towards her for the past few days just came out. In the end, they pulled us away and got us outside. It was my brother, her mom, and my parents who were reprimanding us for making the funeral all about ourselves. They said that no one was going to remember his sending off. Instead, they were going to remember two crazy girls fighting over a pair of earrings. It hit me, right then and there, that what I've done was selfish. Especially getting into a physical fight with someone at my uncle's funeral. I kept on messing up. This was not how I wanted the day to go. I walked inside and apologized to everyone and said that I could leave, so Julie could stay at her father's funeral. I told her that if they were important to her, then she could keep the earrings, but I was done fighting. Before leaving, I told them I was in town for another day, and they could contact me if they wanted to know where Flurry was buried. Then I went back to my hotel room and the rest of the day was a blur. The next day, a couple of family members showed up to fetch me so I could show them where the cat was buried. I was the only one who knew where it was buried because the night she just had been so drunk. She did not remember where we buried it. I knew they were still going to blame me, but I hoped that one day, I would not be such an outcast in my own family. The cat, well, it was buried behind Julie's room, much to everyone's surprise. Julie could not look me in the eyes as they carried him off, leaving the two of us. I told her that I was tired of fighting her, and she won. But at least I had a peace of mind. Did she? She said that she blurted out those lies by mistake, but I did not understand that she really wanted those earrings. Unfortunately for her, her own mother was walking by at that moment, and she heard us. She took the both of us in the living room where she said that those earrings were mine, not Julie's. She told her daughter that she was disappointed in her lying about something so serious. Her father would be turning in his grave if he knew this was the kind of person she's become. Everyone told her she was a shame to the family, and they forced her to hand over those heirlooms to me. From that day on, she's disliked me a great deal, but the feeling's mutual. We don't speak at family events, and we've blocked each other on every social media, even TikTok. She's not my family member for throwing me under the bus like that after I carried her secret for years. So, the fact that Julie would just blurt out that thing that she said about the cat, that was secrecy, sweared to go to the grave, all over a pair of earrings. Yeah. Well, I guess karma came back to get her because the mother overheard what she said about the cat, and well, the cat's out of the bag. Guys, let me know what you think of that story. Drop your comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning in on this video. Consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. You can also check out my other channels, which have other videos of the same type of content every single day. You can find those links in the description below, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you in the next one.